Hey, what it is, what it is. Y'all already know it is. The big bounce dog K-Pop through the door. Hit the top this box before I get my soliloquy. Tough times don't last. Good people do. And off yourself, call the minute hotline, and I'm serious about that. Remember, you matter. Peak game, 84s on West Swing. I gotta throw Houston in there somewhere, man. But we clutched up. We clutched out. You know we're talking about that boxing. Before we get into the main entree, the main dish, gotta introduce our second host. Feature all the family, future legend. Salute to all our soldiers. Brother in the hustle, aka Coach B. Let them know what's going on with you, man.
Hey, what it is, folks? Like Capo said, you know what time it is. We clutched up, we clutched out. You know we're here to talk about that boxing, man. And before we get into it, y'all know what I'm gonna tell y'all. Hey, God woke you up. You put that breath in your body. Everything else is extra after that. Do what you gotta do. Take care of you. Take care of the fam. With that being said, Capo, go ahead and continue the show. Let's let them know how we flow.
Already, we appreciate all of y'all for tuning into this episode, man. Shakur Stevenson has been doing a lot of talking. Ain't nothing new. He been talking. The brother says when he get done doing what he doing to Williams Zepeda, which he said he gonna beat the brakes off Williams Zepeda. He says that he needs his credit. He don't want to hear nobody saying nothing crazy. He want his credit. So, Coach, my question to you is, does Shakur Stevenson deserve credit if he beats Williams Zepeda? Let me know something.
How can I put this? I'm gonna put it like this. Here we go. Let me flow. It's not too many fighters that can enter the sport of boxing and do as little as Shakur Stevenson has done for the sport and have the respect of a lot of real boxing heads. Like I say, like me and K-Po say all the time, we give credit where credit is due. Shakur is a masterful boxing. He knows distance. He understands the art of boxing, to hit and not get hit. Now with this situation right here, he's not begging for credit. You know what I'm saying? He wants his credit. He wants people to give credit where credit is due. And I feel like he's kind of already overstepping. People have been giving Shakur Stevenson his credit. They just want him to deliver on the bar, on the standard they have set upon him. Now, in my opinion, I feel like they've set the bar and the standard for Shakur Stevenson too high, in my opinion. Again, like I say, this guy's asking for his credit. The world and the people that tune in and watch Shakur Stevenson has given him tremendous amount of credit on him as a fighter and what he does in the ring. Yeah, some people, okay, it's a snooze fest. Okay, it's not appealing. It's not, something most people these days who watch the sport of boxing turn on the TV and want to see. But at the same time, a lot of folks still give him credit. They still give him credit because why? Some people say he'll get in there, he'll beat a Tank. He'll get in there, he'll beat a Devin. He'll get in there, he'll beat, a lot of the names that are, elite top dog names that, people throw out there when they compare Shakur Stevenson to anybody. But at the same time, I feel like him asking for credit is not what he needs to be doing. He just needs to deliver on the credit that's already been presented to him through the people and the sport and the respect of other fighters in boxing. And I feel like once he delivers consistently against, higher level opponents, not a Williams Zepeda, because if I'm not mistaken, not verbatim, Williams Zepeda has come out and said something along these lines of, I don't care what it is. I'm going to drag Shakur Stevenson in a dogfight, and I don't care if I get knocked out. That alone right there from your opposition lets you know that you should beat him, and you possibly should knock him out because he's going to drag you into something he feels like you may have the advantage of, but I'm not going to, Williams Zepeda is saying, I'm not going to allow you to run around the ring and do what you've been doing. So with that being said, again, to sum everything up, Shakur Stevenson, you already have the credit you feel like you deserve. You just have to deliver to the sport and the fans of boxing. But again, as you said before, F the fans. You know what I'm saying? So if it is F the fans, you need to deliver on what you need to deliver to yourself. You need to earn that credit through yourself. Make yourself feel like you've went out there and you've taken something you deserve. Because asking the fans for it is one thing, but then you've already said F the fans. So I'm kind of confused in this situation. But again, like I said, you already have the credibility, my guy. Just go out there and deliver. Shut the people up. And you yourself, stop talking so much. You don't have to get into these verbal wars with people. Just go out there and deliver. And I'm gonna leave that like that.
Yeah, I second everything you're saying, man. It's Shakur, man. All I gotta say is stop talking and just fight. You know, we see the skill, we see the talent. Just fight, brother. There's no need for you to. I feel like he like that little brother that is just always angry and is always like trying to prove himself. It's like, bro, you don't have to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I already believe in you. I already, but he feels like I gotta let everybody know. I gotta let the world know that I'm like that. It's like, bro, you're a different type of fighter than a Tank. You're a different type of fighter than a Keyshawn. You're a different type of fighter than Ryan Garcia. Like, you're you. Be you. But he has this identity crisis. And, hopefully, one day he can live up to everything that he's saying. But when you put this pressure on yourself, guess what comes with that if you don't live up to that pressure, criticism? And you got to be a man to stand on your team and accept that criticism. Not get mad at the fans, not go back and forth with them. So that's all I pretty much got to say, man. You just be quiet and fight, brother. You're too grown to be acting like this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go off to the next one. Keyshawn Davis, man.
Mm-hmm.
He got a big fight coming against Edwin De Los Santos. Now, granted, Edwin De Los Santos is coming off a long layoff, but hey, it's still a dangerous fight. And then on the undercard, you got that man who got an appetite for smoke, Abdullah Mason, going against Nakadelia. So, Coach, we're going to break this fight down one by one, right? How do you feel about Abdullah Mason, Nakadelia? If he's able to dispose of him in a dominant fashion, better than Shakur, how does this make Shakur look? Same question for Keyshawn Davis versus Edwin De Los Santos.
Oh, man. Again, Shakur is put in a tough position in which he was given credit for both these fights in some type of way or some type of fashion. Now you got Keyshawn Davis taking on the former opponent of Shakur Stevenson in Edwin De Los Santos. Okay, let's put this in perspective right here. Shakur Stevenson was, seen as a runner, a track star when he went in there against Edwin De Los Santos, and it is what it is. The proof is in the pudding. You can turn on the fight. You ain't got to take our word for it. It's out there. We can't stop you from going watch the video. You want the proof? Go turn it on. Shakur Stevenson versus Edwin De Los Santos. To some, it'll look like boxing. To most, it'll look like a track meet. That's the difference between understanding boxing, the sport and art of boxing, and just turning on wanting to see somebody get knocked out. But again, in my opinion, as a coach, trainer, teacher, and somebody who's involved in the sport of boxing, to me, in my opinion, he did a little bit too much moving in that fight. Not even a little bit, way too much moving in that fight. I feel like he had advantages in a plethora of ways in that fight against Edwin De Los Santos. He had the speed advantage, he had the IQ advantage, he had the footwork advantage, he had the mastering of the distance art to his advantage as well. Now let's get back to the full picture. Keyshawn Davis, a completely different type of fighter. He's fully equipped. He comes with that dog mentality. If he needs to go on the fire and thump, he can thump. Pause, no freakies in full effect. If he needs to box, he can box. If he needs to be a counterpuncher, he can be a counterpuncher. So he possesses all the tools. Again, Keyshawn Davis is who I'm talking about, to go in there. And I'm not going to say just 100% dispose of Edwin De Los Santos, but he can put Keyshawn Davis can put a stop to this fight. Now, if Keyshawn Davis gets in there and he disposes of and he washes Edwin De Los Santos, again, this is another small negative tick against Shakur Stevenson, because it's like, bro, like what Keyshawn Davis is doing, your little bro. I believe we all believe you should have been doing the same thing, not going the distance with Edwin De Los Santos, even though we know he does have that power, which is a big disruptor in anybody's fight plan. So Edwin De Los Santos does possess power, and he does come in and he's looking to knock you out. We get it. But to go in there and just completely utilize the ring the entire fight, not even really try to engage into any true hand-to-hand combat, is just beyond me on Shakur Stevenson's part. Now, we all know Keyshawn Davis coming in there different. If he goes in there, like I said earlier, and washes Edwin De Los Santos, again, they're going to be looking at Shakur like, why you couldn't do that, bro? Why you couldn't do that? What was your problem? Was you scared? Was you nervous? Was you unsure of yourself? What was the problem? Were you really hurt? What a lot more questions are going to be raised again against Shakur Stevenson if Keyshawn Davis goes in there and dispose of Edwin De Los Santos in the manner I think he can. Next fight. Oh, by the way, I do have Keyshawn Davis winning this fight simply because the same thing I mentioned earlier. He just has too much in his tool bag, and not only that, he's willing to go into the fire and exchange blow for blow, punch for punch if he needs to. But I feel like he's gonna get into some altercations. He's gonna figure out that Edwin De Los Santos has a little power, and Keyshawn Davis is gonna bait him in by starting to box a little bit more. He's gonna frustrate Edwin De Los Santos into thinking he's gonna have to run around the ring and catch him. And I feel like Keyshawn Davis is gonna finally settle down and catch De Los Santos slipping in and probably put his lights out, in my opinion. But next fight, Abdullah Mason against, how you pronounce it again? I forgot how to pronounce his name. The Asian guy.
Nakatilia?
Nakatilia. There we go. Appreciate it, K-Po. Now this fight, in my opinion, this is a big. A lot of people gonna try to overlook it, but I think everybody should be tuned in, 100% from opening bell to final bell. Whether it's a knockout, 12 round, don't matter. This is a great fight. This is a great fight for Abdullah Mason and Nakatilia. This is a great fight. Everybody knows Nakatilia is coming in there, and he's not in there to play with you. He's in there to Nakatilia knock you out. He's bringing the power. And not only that, I feel like Nakatilia himself, his fundamentals are overlooked because he has solid footwork. He uses the pendulum bounce every now and then, and he sometimes he gets in the flow and he gets in the rhythm. And again, y'all all know that I like to talk about fighters who are sure of themselves when they get in the ring. Nakatilia is a fighter. When he gets in the ring, he knows who he is. He knows what his advantage is against his opponent. And he's also another one of those fighters who I love. When they get in there, they look to take advantage of the disadvantage of their opponent. Now, this is a different type of opponent that Nakatilia is about to get in the ring with. We're talking about the young gun, the young dog. I'm not running from no smoke. I am the smoke, and I'm looking to start a fire, Abdullah Mason. You feel me? This young cat, he's in there to punish you. He's not in there to play any games. He's looking to bait you into a war to where you feel like you got the advantage. You know, this is a guy that has been knocked down in the match and came back and completely destroyed his opponent. You know what I'm saying? That's a different type of breed. So Nakatilia has to be careful. But at the same time, this is another former opponent of Shakur Stevenson. If the young bull Abdullah Mason gets in there and washes Nakatilia, which I don't think it'll be a complete wash, Abdullah Mason gonna face some adversities because this is not a normal step-up fight. This is like really throwing them to the sharks, throwing them to the wolves, putting them in a line immediately. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, again, Abdullah Mason is going to face a little bit of adversity, but at the same time, I feel like Abdullah Mason is going to come out on top simply, again, because of the skill set, the separation in skills. Yeah, Nakatilia has, again, another guy with the fight plan disruptor. He has the power. He has solid IQs. He has above average IQ. He has above average fundamentals. But Abdullah Mason comes equipped with everything he needs to win a fight. He can be slick. He can box. He can be a counter puncher. He can get in the fire. He can thump with you if he needs to. If he needs to make an angle adjustment, he can make the angle adjustment. He has the proper footwork. Abdullah Mason understands himself as a fighter too. And he's 100% confident in himself as a fighter. And when you get in there with a guy like that, that's equipped with 100% everything you need to be victorious, it makes it hard to beat a guy like that with just power and just barely above average IQ, fundamental, and everything else that comes with being a top-notch fighter. So again, in this fight, if Abdullah Mason gets in there and watch Nakathila, it's another knock, a negative knock against Shakur Stevenson, because again, those questions again, it's gonna come up. Why couldn't you do this, Shakur? When you got in there with Nakathila, or were you scared? Were you not sure of yourself? What? You don't believe in your power? You don't believe in your talent? Can you? It's just so much that'll bounce off of Shakur Stevenson again. And I hate to keep doing it to Shakur. I hate to keep picking up the stick and beating a dead horse. Y'all know that's my thing. I gotta drop that in every video. But anyways, I hate to keep picking up the stick and beating on a dead horse. But again, all these questions are gonna keep arising against Shakur Stevenson. And like I say, he's begging for credibility, but it's these younger guys that's kind of deterring and distorting your picture of credibility, because they're coming in there and doing something different with the fighters that you fought in the past at a younger age. And like I say, Keyshawn could eventually, in this fight against De Los Santos, wash him. Abdullah Mason has the tools to get in there eventually and watch Nakathila. So if it happens, it's like, Shakur, why you didn't do that? And I'm gonna leave that just like that. And I do got Abdullah Mason winning this fight simply because that dog, that mentality, the skill set, the knowledge, the IQ, and just being prepared to go to war with any fighter. But I'm gonna leave that like that. K-Po, there you go.
Yeah, I agree. Abdullah Mason, Nakathila power puncher. It's a great scrap. I think it's gonna make Abdullah Mason go in his bag and kind of show a new wrinkle that he got in his game. Because we see Abdullah Mason, he blitz boards. We see he tough. We see he got that dog in him. He got knocked down with the dude with the reverse ball fake. That boy tripping, man. I don't know who cut his hair, but that barber need to be fired, man. I don't know how you let that man walk around with reverse ball fake. That was crazy. But we seen Abdullah Mason face adversity. He gets up and he stopped that dude. So I think Abdullah Mason is going to show his IQ in this fight. He's going to have to. And I think Abdullah Mason going to win this fight. Still think he knocks out Nakathila. I think he's going to show his IQ. He's going to show you, like, I'm like that. I can outthink you. You know what I mean? I can outthink you and make you do what I want you to do. And that's what I think he's going to do in this fight. And if he's able to do that, because I'm looking at Nakathila's boxer. He got knocked out by Muratara in the second round. Right? Muratara is, I believe, the interim IBF champion at 135 pounds. Mm-hmm. So, all I'm saying at the end of the day is that, Nakathila is, he could be got. He could be got, but I think he's going against a up and coming fighter in Abdullah Mason, and this is a true test for Abdullah Mason for where he is at in his career. Mm-hmm. So we shall see if Abdullah Mason is able to dispose of this dude pretty easily. They're gonna look at Shakur again, like you said. Hey, why did you struggle with him? Why did you run like you were in the fifth for a trail ride? Like, what was you doing? You know what I mean? You scared of that power? Like, what's going on with you? So, there's going to be a lot of questions to ask if he just run through that boy like diarrhea. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. I definitely can see a decision, though. You know what I mean? I definitely can see a decision. But it's a very interesting fight. And, I'm interested to see the game plan of Abdullah Mason. Keyshawn Davis and Evan De Los Santos, great scrap, man. Keyshawn Davis, I told y'all, is one of those fighters that if he get experience, he could beat a lot of people. If you want to fight Keyshawn Davis, the time is not a fighter. Because if he get that experience, he gonna be a tough guy to beat. So I think that, of course, I got Keyshawn beating Evan De Los Santos. I do think he's going to face some adversity. I think he's going to get hurt. I think he's going to get hurt in this fight. But I think he's going to weather the storm. and I think he's gonna be able to beat Evan Santos. So, both of these fights are true barometer tests, right? Because when you look at these fights, you're like, okay, Shakur, you went 12 with both of these guys. So these little young bulls who's supposed to be your brothers, you know what I mean? Take care of business. It's almost like, man, they finna pass that big brother.
Mm-hmm.
And you gonna be looking at them. So we shall see how these guys looking in these fights, man. But I'm very interested to see how Abdullah Mason and how Keyshawn Davis is able to make the proper adjustments and, you know, be able to get their hand raised.
Right.
So we shall see.
I'm gonna say this too before we segue off into the last topic. I'm gonna say this here now on Clutch Factory. If Keyshawn Davis KOs Edwin De Los Santos and Abdullah Mason KOs Nakatiya, the rest of the guys that are in this new wave, in this new era of boxing, these young bulls that's coming about, just be ready. The temp and all that stuff that's been going on in the past, the temperature's about to rise. It's about to get heated. These boys finna have to be on go at all times. And I'm telling you, Abdullah Mason gets this knockout, and this Nakatiya, and Keyshawn Davis gets this knockout on the same card against Edwin De Los Santos. All you other young bulls, that's up and coming fighters trying to get that experience, that knowledge, that stardom, that star power, that fame, that bag. Y'all finna have to be on go mode, because now y'all really finna fall behind. You know what I'm saying? Abdullah Mason and Keyshawn Davis, they not fighting just no regular deglers. These are guys. Edwin De Los Santos, yeah, he's not up there like a Nakatiya, but he is a gatekeeper. Gatekeepers are not to be played with. Some gatekeepers are really, really like that. Nakatiya, he's been around. He's ranked on a lot of people's, pound for pound list. It ain't hot, but to be on a pound for pound list, period, it says a lot. And again, if these two guys go out and deliver in that manner, all you other young bulls, you're gonna have to step the game up. You're gonna have to step your fight plan up. It's really gonna be the art of war, and it's gonna be go time for a lot of y'all. And this is what I want. I want boxing to be back to where it's go time. Elites versus elites. The young bulls versus the young bulls. The top dogs versus the top dog. The gatekeepers trying to take out the young guys that's coming to take their spots, coming to replace them. This is what I want. So I'm hoping that Abdullah Mason and Keyshawn Davis dispose of these two dudes. No disrespect to neither one of them. You know what I'm saying? May God bless, and everybody comes out unscathed and safe. Boxing just stays boxing. Everybody gets to go home, get the check, and go home to their family safely in the proper manner to where they can still live life and take care of their families. But at the same time, this is what I want. I want these two young bulls, these two young guys to come out and do what they're supposed to do. And when I say young with Keyshawn Davis, he's still young in the ring. He's a man, but he's still young in the ring. He still got a little ways to go. He's still looking. He's hungry for that experience, that star power, and everything. But he is a grown ass man. But at the same time, long story short, I want these two guys to come out and do what they got to do against these two opponents, these two caliber of opponents. So the bar in boxing is reset, and everybody knows, hey, I got to jump this much higher to get what I want, because these two guys set the bar, and everybody else has to follow.
Big facts on that, man. Let's segue off into the next topic. Bill Henry. I know. Bill. Why, Bill? Bill Henry was on Cigar Talk. Shout out to Najee. Sat there on that couch and said that Devin Haney basically can beat Jaron Boots Ennis. Now, Jaron Boots Ennis has been linked to a lot of people. I don't know what they looking at. I don't know what they seeing. But that ain't a dude to be playing with. So, Coach, has Bill Haney lost his mind? Does he believe in his son more than his son believe in himself? Because Let me know something. I really can go ahead if I'm not. Let me know something.
Oh, he says Bill Haney lost his mind. That boy done lost his everlasting mind. Whatever he got left up there is gone. Is out of there. Is kaput. It's no more. To sit here and say that Devin Haney can beat Jerron Boots Ennis. I don't care what form of Devin Haney you put in there. I don't care if it's the one before, after, and during the Ryan Garcia fight. I don't care if it's the one that got in there with Lomachenko. I don't care if it's the Devin Haney that just happened a few weeks ago. There's no version of Devin Haney that you can put in the ring with a Jerron Boots Ennis and beat him. I don't care what form. I don't care what form. Bro, this is crazy. What skill set, what true skill, what true talent, what true IQ, what true mentality does Devin Haney have to make you say, even if you didn't know boxing, if you look at Jerron Boots Ennis and you look at Devin Haney, there's no way you can sit there and truly believe that Devin Haney can beat Jerron Boots Ennis. And this is just off sheer athleticism and skill set. We're not even going to put in the IQ and the understanding and the movements and all that good stuff of boxing. Just athleticism and skill. That is not even a comparison when you're talking about Jerron Boots Ennis and Devin Haney. And I'm trying to stay calm about it because I don't want everybody to get up in an uproar. I'm not trying to bring too much attention to this because it's really a no contest in my opinion. It's not even close. And I'm gonna say this in all fairness. Showbiz, shout out to him because he made a valid point. The only way a Devin Haney has a chance to beat a Jerron Boots Ennis is to do what he did in his last fight. And that's to pat and get up out of there. Tap and get up out of there. But the risk versus reward of Devin Haney even trying to fire off a 2 or 3 punch combination against Jerron Boots Ennis is really terrible. The percentages are really against it. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, they forget that Jerron Boots Ennis is a switch hitter. Now, a lot of people don't understand this. When you're dealing with a switch hitter, that gives them the ability to create an illusion of being closer and further back than a normal orthodox or a normal southpaw fighter would. Because when you know how to switch hit properly, it creates an imbalance in the opposition's distance and managing the distance. And the way Jerron Boots Ennis switch hits, that's going to confuse Devin Haney in his state of trying to move around the ring too much because he's going to feel like he has an opening here, but Jerron Boots Ennis can switch his stance to cut him off one way and then switch back into his southpaw stance and catch him with something lethal and brutal that could put Devin Haney out of the game. This is not a Ryan Garcia left hook. This is Jerron Boots Ennis power. This is different. This is grown man power. Ryan Garcia only has power in his left hook. Jerron Boots Ennis has powers in his jab, in his uppercuts, in his hooks, in his overhands, in his check hooks. He has power in every punch if he sits there and wants to. He can throw the kitchen sink at you and hurt you. But at the same time, with that being said, the fact that Bill Haney thinks Devin Haney can beat Jerron Boots Ennis in any form, shape, or fashion is just beyond me. The dude has gone completely delusional. Now, it's nothing wrong with believing in your fighter, your son, and all the above. But at the same time, pride to get you hurt. You can't ride the wave of pride as a man. Sometimes you just got to take your L and move along. And I think this is one of those situations where they need to take the L and move along before they get in the ring and take too many L's. And Devin cannot recover simply because they just want to get back in the heart of the fan. this ain't what you want. Jerome Boots, and this is not the fight that you want to try to bring up to get back in the heart of the fans. Period. Point blank. Like I said, you go in there playing with Jerome Boots, and you're gonna get yourself in some trouble, and you're gonna get Devin Haney hurt. Bill, keep it kosher, keep it stellar, and slowly get your son back into the wing of things. Don't rush trying to get back in that spotlight, in the limelight, because that limelight turn into a dark light, and it'll be night, and there'll be no more fight hype. It'll be no more cigar talk. It'll be no more nothing for none of y'all for longer than a year this time. And you ain't gonna be going to court about it, because it ain't gonna be no. It ain't. And Jerome Buzinnis ain't doing no cheat. So it is what it is. Hey, Paul, I'm done with it. I'm gonna let you cook the rest of the way.
Bill Haney lost his mind. Straight up and down, no side effects. I mean, I don't really spend too much time on it. For starters, Devin Haney is coming off of a shaky performance, like Coach said, so I don't really need to get into all the specifics. I'm going to tell you straight up and down. If he get in there with Boots, that's the end of Devin Haney's career. I'm telling you that. Ain't nothing he can do to keep that man off of him. He get in there with Boots, trying to be cute, spinning around the ring. Boots going to switch and catch that boy. It's a wrap. You know, tell me, and ain't gonna be no suing. Ain't nobody gonna be on no Oscar ring, no nothing, none of that foolishness. Mr. Clean, ain't nobody gonna be on nothing, right? That man gonna be on the ground looking at the ceiling, right? And all this stuff about, Devin is groomed for everybody. Yeah, he gonna be grooming. He gonna be grooming dogs. He gonna be a veterinarian after this. If he get in there with Boots, he gonna be a veterinarian. I'm telling you this. So Bill, you need to stop playing, bro. I be listening to you. Stop playing. I know Devin. Look, Devin is a good fighter. We not taking nothing away from him, but there are weight classes for a reason, and there are bad matchups for fighters. That's a horrible matchup for Devin Haney. Don't put that man in there with him. That's career suicide. You might as well just go ahead and pick that man casket, or go pick up his lab coat, or whatever they call it, because that's where he gonna be working at if he getting there with Boots. Coach, you got anything else you want to add?
Hey, with all that being said, I just want to give a shout out to the folks in Asia, the folks in Europe, the folks in Africa, the folks in UK, the folks all around the world, because we see it. We peak game, like K-Po say. We see y'all coming to watch. But when y'all come watch, hey, just remember, you're always going to spend 30 minutes to an hour with your two favorite hosts that'll never leave you in the dark about any post. Just make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that follow, that share, that comment, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do when you see it. But remember, me and K-Po just getting this thing kicked off. We just getting started. We're going to keep it rolling. And there ain't nothing wrong with leaving some positive criticism for us. Not like we say all the time. You get on there talking that yik-yak, that wrong type of smack, we're going to come back at you. It might be intelligently. It might be the way you came at us. You never know. But at the same time, just be prepared. And like he always say, we ain't running from no smoke. This thing here for us is no joke. And everything else, y'all stay blessed. Continue to do what y'all do. Stay safe. Until next time, that's Boss. I'm Coach, a.k.a. Brody on the Hustle. Hey, we up out of here. Salute.
You're